Notification volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Blindformers. I am your host, Blind Prime, and for today I have for you Transformers Earthrise Wheeljack. Here he is right here, in his beautiful, I'm assuming, white and green. People talk good about his paint app, so I'm going to take their word for it. But I'm going to talk about his height and what he offers. So, first off, let's talk about his siege ports. He's got one on the bottom of each foot, and he has one on each leg. Usually they do, but he's missing out on the legs. So two. He's got one on each forearm. He's got one on each hand, so that's 6. He's got one on each shoulder, 7, 8, and then he's got one on his back, so that's 9 siege ports. Also, if you take out his little shield wings, those are siege ports as well, so that equals 11. And he has 2 rectangular siege ports for his side of the head gun, which this thing can actually get in there pretty well. He's got one on each side of his head, but because of the siege peg on the side of the gun, the only way it works is if you put it on the right side of his head. And I think that's the way it was in the show, so that's cool. And it also, because of its placement, can move up and down slightly, so you can aim it at things. Alright, let's talk about his height. We got our height chart right here. Good old height chart. Let's get, boom, right there. He stands 11 studs tall, which, no wait, is that 11? No, it's 10. 11, 12, 15, 17 studs tall. My bad. I forgot my own height chart. So he stands 17 studs tall. And let's get the Bumblebee. Seeing as these two were the first 2 Transformers ever seen together. Boom. Look at that. Bumblebee stands perfectly proportioned, at least as I remember it in the show. So Bumblebee's head goes basically to the underside of Wheeljack's armpit. And here's a front and front comparison kind of thing, where the Bumblebee's head, if you draw a line to it, will go to the top of this notched area, which I assume is the Autobot symbol on his chest, on Wheeljack's chest. Alright. Bumblebee sporting a little gun. Oh, it's actually a little flail. Right. Oh wait, Bumblebee. Okay, let's get to the transformation for him. So first off, you want to remove the weird little gun thing from his neck, or on his shoulder, and go ahead and just slightly spin these 2 back areas, his little back shields, so they're not going to get in the way. Make sure they're just vertical, straight up and down, and we'll deal with them later. First, you want to, he's actually kind of a neat transformation, so you want to move his car hood down from his chest. This will give you enough space to take and move his shoulders. Alright, so with his car hood, his chest piece, you just want to bend that down. It's on its own bar hinge, so it's just going to go sit right above his crotch, and we're just going to leave it there for now. On his arms, you can feel that there's a side with the wheel, and it's all smooth. His hand can rotate around until its paneling matches the paneling with the wheel. And after you've done that, you just rotate that out to be the side of the car. And then raise his hand all the way out. Just feel along the edges of this area, and you can feel where everything will line up. Do the same with the other side. So rotate, and there you go. And raise his hands up like you just don't care. And after that, we've got to spin his entire lower half, including that panel that we just folded down to his crotch. So you just rotate 180 degrees. There we go. Now he can do a lot of fun with his with his legs. So, I'm going to first off finish up his upper body by rotating his shoulder so that this may be a little difficult. It can be a little frustrating, but you want to rotate his shoulder so that the siege port that's on the side of the shoulder faces out the back of where the vehicle will be, because that siege port is actually part of the back of the car. And then you're going to lower the hand down, the arm down. I'm going to follow that same step on the other side. Rotate his arm, his shoulder, so that it will kind of just sit there. There we go. Line up those siege ports. His head, I thought it was supposed to, there it goes. Don't forget to fold his head into the empty spot in the middle. Oh, I'm raising it too high. Fold his head into the empty spot into the middle of his chest that was revealed when you pulled the front of the car down. And then you can rotate both of the shoulders up and they will actually pin together. And we're basically almost done with the back of the car. Now you take and rotate the... We're not clipping anything in yet because we're not finished, because we still have to do the front of the car. But you want to go ahead and rotate these back wings so that they actually become the back spoiler for the car mode, which is pretty neat. Now we take care of these legs. These legs are weird, and you got to be careful with them. So you want to fold out the legs, and in them you will find this little panel that's on a hinge. This is the part you got to be careful with. That thing can break, so handle it gingerly, very gingerly. Make sure that you pull the little arms out because they're going to slide into place once the legs are in place. Rotate the feet, or slide the feet down so that they both make a front of a really nice speeding car. And we're going to carefully move these panels up into their place. They're little window panels, and they'll just sit right below his chest window area to make his car windows a bit bigger looking. But once you've got those guys lined up properly, just be careful because they will fall off their hinges. Raise the top of the car just a bit, or the roof of the car just a bit, so that these panels can slide under it slightly. And then feel around and make sure that you've lined everything up. It will all fit where there's no gaps. And once you have completed that, you can then slide these arms down. Come on, arms. What's your beef? These arms will slide down into these little spots that the legs have made whenever they folded forwards. Now comes that part where you're just moving stuff around slightly and getting it all to get into the right position. Sometimes this hand will try to unfold itself, and you don't want that. You also don't want what's happening here to be happening, so be careful. Just get that arm folded down. Make sure that hand is twisted in the right position, and it should snap into place. But it's being a butt. There it goes. Stop being a butt now. Alright. There we go. Line up those back panels, because if they're misaligned on the rear of the car, then this car won't transform properly. That's really specific. There it goes. Yeah. And, oh, crap. Did I almost break it? I gotta be careful about the fragile legs. Alright, there we have it. There we go. Here he is in his car mode. Just rotate these back shoulder pieces. Or actually, you're supposed to just be able to rotate them, but you got to pop them up just a bit right here to make them actually line up. You can just take them out and put them back. There we go. And there you have it. I can actually, they look better. These back spoiler pieces look better whenever you rotate them around. But when he's in robot mode, you've got to switch him out again to get that perfect look. There. And his little gun can fit all the way up here at the top. but it just looks goofy. I don't really like it too much. Here is his car mode. He is a sports car from the 80s, which is pretty cool. Originally, his vehicle was something that was, it drove for Marlboro back in 1984 or 85, I want to say. So when they released him, they changed the colors because Hasbro didn't want to be associated with that. So they changed him to this. So let's take a look at his length. His length is 16 studs. So he is as long in car mode as he is tall. That's kind of neat. You don't get that very often. When it comes to width-wise, he is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The typical 8 studs wide. So basically your average Lego car in width these days. That's kind of neat. Let's get the cliff jumper. Where you at, cliff jumper? Darn it, Bumblebee. You hiding cliff jumper from me? No, wait, no. Where did cliff jumper go? I swear, my cats took off with my cliff jumper. Here he is. Here he is. He was hiding. He's super small. Cliff jumper goes from the back of the car bumper all the way to the end of the front wheel well. So the end of his the front of his car mode is just at the edge of the end of the front wheel well for Wheeljack. Lots of wheel in there. You put them bumper to bumper, and you can fit almost half a Wheeljack in. But that's because Wheeljack's like 5 studs wide. He's super, super tiny. And I'm holding a creeper because I wanted to give you one last look at the creeper. And I do bring out my 3.5 inch creeper every now and then to show you. It's a terrible day. Terrible day indeed. They work together to get rid of the creeper. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. Transformation-wise, this guy's not bad, but it is fragile, so handle with care. Those little window pieces I talked about, many people mention they break, so handle with care. He's not too complicated, but in a leveling of 1 to 10, I'd give him a 4 to 5, just due to the delicacy. But he doesn't do any special crazy tricks. There's kind of this guy's pretty intuitive. I like my crazy tricks in the transforming and using my mind a bit more. So when I find those, I definitely will let you know that they are fun to transform. This guy is meh to transform. But until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all of your Transformers fans out there. Trying to get to 100. Alrighty.